Too much West Coast in my blood, got that cut off, gold ghost in my blood, got that. Don't try, cause ain't no hole in my blood, got that.
Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a reaction to a video called Too Short Tell Stories About Tupac's Oakland Days. And this is coming from the channel Dregs1. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this. I'm not going to react to the whole video. I'll leave the video's link down in the description for y'all to go check it out for yourself. Without further ado, let's get it.
When did Tupac get on your radar?
It's funny. It's funny because I have a one of those little DVD VHS things where you film the concert and you do some interviews and shit. And I did I think it's the Short Dogs in the House one. If you get the Short Dogs in the House little home.
Hey, how many people remember the VHS? How many of y'all remember the VHS and DVDs and the Blu-ray? When the Blu-ray came out, hey, you was a shit if you had the Blu-ray, but then you had to pay those Blu-ray prices for the discs. We gotta bring this VCR shit back.
DVD, whatever. We hired Shock G to host the party, the behind the scenes footage as Humpty Hump. So he's going around and he's, asking people questions in the Humpty Hump voice. I'm doing the show, we filming, it's sold out, it's an event. And I go watch this shit years later. And this little young ass Tupac in the background behind Shock G. And I'm like, I never even knew he was in the house that day. Like he was not prominent at the time. And definitely wasn't on my radar at that time. Tupac, the first time I ever even noticed him is in the Digital Underground video when he jumped out the back of the hearse. And he's like, I want to clown around with the underground, whatever that shit they did for the movie. Can't remember the name of the movie.
Yeah, but the song
I don't know,
All Around the World, same song.
Yeah. It was in a movie.
Forget the name of the movie. It's like John Candy movie.
It's the most crazy butcher 'em up movie. I don't know. But so Digital Underground has a member in that group. His name is Pee Wee. Pee Wee played a lot of keyboards and a lot of instruments, and kind of looked like Tupac too. And then I worked with Shorty B, who plays a lot of guitars and different instruments and shit. Shorty B would make music with Digital Underground. He was really close with Pee Wee and Shock G and everybody in Digital Underground. And Pee Wee would come over and make music with me. So Shorty B, Pee Wee, Tupac, they used to run around a lot together.
Hey, before we go any further, we just got to give it up for Too Short one time. He is such a legend in this game, and the fact that he's from the Bay Area, he's from Oakland. Y'all, if y'all ain't from the Bay Area, y'all don't know how hard it is to make it in the Bay Area. So if any rapper can come up and have a Bay Area sound and get to the heights that Too Short has reached, like complete legend status all around the board, there's not one rapper or artist that don't know Too Short. My uncle used to be slapping Too Short all day in his old ass Suburban. Shit shaking everywhere, like, bitch.
And then I remember Tupac coming around, and it wasn't like too much in each other's face or nothing. I knew who he was because then after a while he had Brenda's had a baby.
Right.
When my homies call, he's Richie Rich is my really good friend, right? So then here's Tupac. He's like sort of under Richie Rich. Kind of like, Richie Rich is showing him the ropes at a certain point in time around Brenda's got a baby in when my homies call. And he wants to come to Oakland because he was in Marin City. He wants to come to Oakland. He finds his way through Rich and some other people and the Digital clique. And he's there. I remember one day we rode in my truck and Tupac and Shorty B jumped in the truck with me, and I noticed that he had a pistol on him. And I was just thinking to myself, I carry guns a lot, and you would never know, because I'm from Oakland, and I just wouldn't let an Oakland nigga or any other nigga know that I'm got my thing on me at the time. It's just something you just.
Hey, that's definite. That's definite. Hey, Pac had that thing on him though. He wasn't fronting on. He said, "Hey, it's right here, loud and proud. You could see it." But Too Short's like, "Nah, I'm from Oakland. I want this shit to be a surprise. I want somebody to roll up on me, and they don't even know what hit them. They trying to figure out what burns and why it feel warm all over their body and why they on the ground now."
Don't do. Niggas be saying stupid shit like, "Let me see your gun." Like, no, nigga. Like, it's just, it gets goofy. So if you that cat, you don't care if somebody know or not. But I just noticed it, and it just struck me. I was like, immediately, I was like, I can't really get really close to this guy because I knew what he was getting into, and I was like, if my guys catch wind of his ambition, they're going to cling to him.
Got it.
And I'm like, he can find his way anywhere he wants in the world, but I'm not bringing him to where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's crazy because that's real. That's some real OG shit because you got to really be looking at it from a different perspective. Like how just Too Short was saying it, like, man, if I bring this dude around my guys, they're going to want to act like him. They're going to want to show out like him, you know? And Tupac was a firecracker. He was ready to, you know, he was trying to let it be known, you know, everywhere and anywhere and whatever time, you know? But yeah, that's some crazy, that's some crazy shit that Too Short was like, you know, nah, I can't bring him around here because then they gonna see him and he knows people's influence, and we're missing that today in the game. We need these OGs to direct, you know, give these people some direction.
I'm just not, and I just knew, I could tell that he wanted the streets. He wanted, and I had seen his interviews too, where he was talking the revolutionary talk. So I knew his layers, but I was like, I can't tap into that part of him with the pistol on him hanging out in Oakland. In some places, I just can't bring him. I definitely can't bring him if he's going to let people know he got that on him. And I just don't want to bring him in general just because. So I personally avoided ambitious Tupac because he probably would have ended up in some fucked up spaces around me. And you got to be in the right state of mind. You can't go. Like, he did it, though, bro. Like, when he went to L.A., he ended up in those circles, and he went all the way. Just what I thought he would do is what he did. He was like, I want to be that gangster, revolutionary, like everything. I want to be the ladies man. I want to be the biggest rapper. Like, he had that ambition. I was like, get that shit away from me. I didn't want to be a bad influence on Tupac, and you know, that was just my choice.
Interesting. I have my own thoughts on this, but I'm really curious to hear your take. When we talk about like this secret society of Bay Area rap cats, do you consider Tupac to be an Oakland rapper?
He crowned himself that. He named himself that, and the reason why he said it is the famous clip, but he said it behind the scenes too. It was that game. Like, his soul was probably gravitating towards the Black Panthers, and he wanted to come to where the Black Panthers were birthed, and he wanted to be a part of that soil. He wanted that, and I'm sure it didn't have shit to do with the rappers. I'm sure it had all to do with the Panthers, and he wanted to stand on that revolutionary land when the fucking, who was it, OPD, Berkeley PD, beat him up for
jaywalking.
Jaywalking. He was probably fighting as a Panther, not as a rapper. Like, he probably was fighting a different battle, and I think that's why we got to give him that. He said, I got the game from Oakland. So I'm born at a hospital in L.A. I come to Oakland, and I become Oakland. Like, I can't give L.A. one credit, not even a little bit, for anything Too Short.
Damn.
I put nothing L.A. in Too Short, ever. And I think that
but that's the only thing I think with Tupac, because yeah, when you do think about Bay Area rappers, Tupac don't really come into the conversation. I think also because the Bay Area had a sound at that time And Tupac's sound was just too broad, you know, like he was touching on everything. He was talking that gangster shit, he was talking that real shit, he was speaking about real issues, he was on that, you know, ladies man type shit. So he was all around, you know. So he wasn't really, I think that's why when you think about Bay Area rappers, you think about E40 and Too Short and Keek the Sneak, and, you know, people like that are the first ones to kind of come into your mind. But Tupac, for some reason, I don't know, probably for a lot of people, really represented, or, you know, basically like kind of had majority of his success in LA with Death Row and, you know, all that stuff. So I think he's more of like a LA known rapper. But yeah, I think for the most part, a lot of people don't really consider him Bay Area, but just the people who really know their history know that Tupac's, you know, he been all around the Bay. He been all through Oakland and went to LA, and then that's when his shit really started popping off. That's what I was saying. It's crazy hard to make it in the Bay Area. He took it to LA, boom, popped off like crazy, because they was on that shit, you know. They was looking for somebody who, and he gave them every influence and everything to believe in, you know. So he really stood for something.
Later on, Tupac had a lot of LA raps, but for a long time, everything before he went to jail was Bay Area.
Okay, so you give him that stamp. He's part of the secret society.
He definitely was, because when he gets to his height of he's in control, what does he do? He gets songs with a bunch of Bay Area people.
Yeah.
And he constantly, you know, I see him in Atlanta. You know, back in the day doing all the wild shit. And it was just, you know, we get together and we just, you know, the Atlanta Tupac I was fucking with. Because he had already stuck his foot out the door. He had already shot the undercover police officers. He was catching the cases in New York.
Hey, Tupac was wild. He was on some different shit, man. I mean, I know it was a different point in time also when he was coming up, but man, Pac was wild. He shot some undercover cops. Like, I think just because they was messing with this dude, or they was trying to beat up on this dude or something, he went through and defended him. Like, man, he was super down. And I think there was even in the courtroom was crazy with all that happening. But yeah.
In New York and shit, I fuck with that Tupac. I'm like, you out the house now, let's go. But I wasn't gonna walk him down that path.
Right.
I wouldn't do that to anybody.
Yeah, I was really curious to hear your perspective on it. Especially also, I know this has been discussed before, but you're like one of the only artists to record with both Tupac and Biggie.
During that bullshit.
Yeah.
During the shit. Yeah. I
That's why you gotta fuck with Too Short, man. He a legend. He a legend. It ain't even about picking no side at that point. It's about they genuinely respected him both. You know? And when you a legend and when you ain't and when you known for not being on no bullshit, people gonna see that and people gonna fuck with you. If you look like you flip-flopping and you don't know and you're just in it for yourself and you know, whatever to benefit you, people ain't gonna, they're gonna stay the fuck away from you. But if they see that you real and you down and you solid and you're doing this shit just out of love and respect, that's what it is.
I think it's you, Bone Thugs, and I think Method Man.
Yeah.
Recognize where you got the game.
All right, y'all. That was just a quick video about Too Short talking about some Tupac. You know, while he was in Oakland in his Oakland days, a little bit before he went to LA and met Suge and, you know, did all that and became the artist that we know today. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this video down in the comments. Make sure you hit subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.